Hello and welcome. My name is Samuel Ray, and this is Art of Rally. So, the way this works is I've been running the online events, dailies and weeklies, and I've been attempting to actually push myself to place as high as possible on the leaderboard. So, I guess I skipped the first part. My name is Samuel Ray, and this is s-factor-sam. What does the S in s-factor stand for? Well, you'll have to watch to the end to find out. So yeah, I've been trying my hand at the dailies and weeklies for a while now, particularly the weeklies, focusing on trying to get a top 50 percentile completion on the leaderboard, and I did attain that. I achieved it, but I decided to go a little farther because when I broke the top 50 percentile, I actually hit top 30 percentile. So I decided to try and go for a top 10%. So let's do the daily to warm up. It's rarely the same car as the weekly, at least on the day of the weekly ending and the reset occurring. So we're going to run through this daily real quick, then we're going to run the weekly. So in this, it looks like we're running the Super Impreza GC 20, I forget the number, 22 I think. Either way, it's the legendary Colin McRae one, the first one he drove. So very powerful all-wheel drive system. As you can see at the beginning, I had a little trouble acclimating to its turning, but once I got a handle on it, and rather than jamming on the brakes at any point, I decided to try and coast into the turns a bit. Testing in hay barrel though, just gripping onto the car. Hate it. So yeah, I decided to try and just lift and coast since it's got all-wheel drive, strong stability. So you're not going to encounter as much lift-off oversteer as you would in a rear-wheel drive car. And when you do, you can hear all that backfire. Very short stage, top 55 percentile completion, not too bad. So now we're going to move on to the weekly. 4 stages, repair stop in the center, so after the second stage. Damage does carry over from stage to stage. Let's see how well I can do. So we're racing in Indonesia, 6.5 miles on dirt. At least it's not raining. And we're in the Lancha Delta. Maybe. Alright, so yeah, we're in what I think is the Lancia Delta, but that felt quite good. So it's a really powerful all-wheel drive car from the old days, and you can really feel it, because when you put the gas down, it really wants to just rocket forward in the direction that the nose is pointed. And I love that type of stability, especially on dirt, like this track happens to be. Yeah, it offers very strong performance, decent weight. You just have to be mindful of, well, in that case, I had to be mindful of stinking hay barrels, but it's basically just all about managing where you want to brake or where you want to lift and coast. Like there, I lifted through the chicane, and it hits the jumps pretty high too because of putting power down on all four wheels. But yeah, I actually lifted before those jumps so as not to go too overboard with it, keeping control. There's a lot of large sweeping turns here too, which really benefits this car. There were some strategic points too where I just pumped the brakes a little bit in order to force the car to shift down a bit. Especially in front of certain turns, you want to be in second gear for some of the tighter turns. And then third gear up is when the stability under throttle gets a lot stronger. Almost lost the rear end there, but all I had to do was lift off the gas, point the nose where I wanted to go to readjust, and then gun it again. You know, here I saw the elevation change was going down, so I decided to lift and then slide while putting the power down. So putting a really good power slide to go through the light turns. And this music really fits my performance on this too. This was actually quite an enjoyable stage. I got to put the throttle down, just hammer down quite a bit. Some mild cuts. See, I didn't overcorrect in that turn because I decided to go a little slower. There, put the power down through that turn. Honestly, this is one of my better performances. Really good car for this stage. Let's see, top 35 percentile for that stage. Strong start. Oh, we got 1.6 miles on the dirt, so a very, very short stage. I get the feeling it's going to have a lot of twisties. So let's take a look. Okay, so I was right. This one starts off with a hairpin and doesn't let you get up to speed very often. Lots of uphills, which restricts your acceleration a bit, and then cliffside turns, where you have to be real mindful of because It's an easy way to get a stage reset and an extra 5-second penalty tacked on. This one was quite rough. I had to brush in with a rock there, which if you hit them too hard, they'll damage your car. Almost went off the cliff there, and it just made me real hesitant. It wasn't a great feeling stage on this one. Had a jump and I saw the cliffside, but I wasn't able to halt my momentum enough, and I tried to reverse it to prevent the reset, but I was unable to succeed in that. And it was right before the end of the stage. So unfortunately, I got top 60 percentile on that. So a strong start and a not so strong follow-up. I didn't even get to see how long the stage was on this one. I think it's a little longer though. So let's go ahead and get our repairs. The only thing that happened was it got dirty. So we'll clean it off to reduce drag and get back into it. This stage was the hardest one thus far. Definitely had more length to it, but it was definitely just a much more difficult time. Much more twisties, more hairpin turns in general, a lot more elevation changes as well. Overall posed a much tougher challenge. I handled those first two hairpins decent. And then they wanted to throw a right-hander, or a right angle, I should say. And of course I hit the cape barrel. And I went way too wide and lost some time sliding through the outer sand. So this one, lots of mountain pass type roads. Gotta be real careful flinging yourself off the cliff. This is why I tried to err on the side of caution and take the inside cut. These railings you gotta be real careful of because they just absolutely grab onto the car and spin you just from merely brushing against it. There I bumped the right side of my car on a tree, but it was a gentle bump, so I don't think it damaged anything, and it was much preferred from going too fast and flinging myself sideways or rolling it thanks to the hillsides. And there I lost it completely, and I was trying not to slam into the hay barrels, and I ended up spinning myself, which lost me a lot of time. I started off so strong on this run, but it's kind of falling apart on these middle two stages, so I'm gonna have to come out swinging on the final stage and just really send it. All sorts of obstructions. If you graze them or rub up against them, they'll just grab and spin your car. So yeah, another 65%. So final stage, it's short, dirt, and rain. This is going to be interesting. So I'm gonna have to lock in, pull a Colin McRae, when in doubt, flat out. Okay, that was a very rough one. So unfortunately I failed to account for how far back I would need to brake in the first major right turn. I would venture to say that rain is worse on dirt than it is on gravel. And so I failed to account for inertia and ended up sending myself too far off the side and wasn't able to save it. And I think that was the one that was just the nail in the coffin. Unfortunately, it was the worst last stage to get while losing momentum, because the fact that it's rain literally means you can't flat out. Otherwise, you're going to slide like that and lose more time trying not to careen off the side of the cliff. But yeah, that one didn't go so well. Alright, well, so now that I'm done with that, I have to wait until 7 p.m. when the reset occurs, and then we will see how my final results are. Hang tight till after the jump. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe if you're not already, and like the video if you've been enjoying this. All right, let's take a look at the final results. Moment of truth. Top 60 percentile. So I could tell after that second and third run that it just was not, or second and third stage, that just wasn't my run. Yeah, wow. I thought it would have done better with something like Lancia Delta Integrale or anything of that class, high-powered all-wheel drive car. But in reality, my best cars have been the ones that are a bit more like the Porsche. Lightweight, low torque, well-balanced. So, yeah, interesting. Well, I guess we'll have to keep trying, see if I can hit top 10%. I've already gotten top 50%. Well, actually top 30%, and then top 40 or 45. I've passed top 50 percentile. I've surpassed that like 3 times now, so I know it's possible. I know I can keep it up. We'll just keep trying and see if we can get the right car and stage combinations to make it happen and hit top 10%. All right, well, that's it for me. This has been Samuel Ray and s-factorsam, and I can't even remember if I asked the question at the beginning of the video, honestly. What does the S and S factor stand for? In this case, it would be slipping, like my performance slipped a bit. So I'll have to redouble my efforts next week. Hopefully I can get a better combination of car and stages and get back up where I know I can perform pretty consistently now. So, all right, well, if you enjoyed that, make sure to click on the screen in just a sec because there's going to be another video that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Hope to see you there and see you in the next upload. We're keeping this going. See ya.
Thank you.